Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Today's khutbah at Masjid An-Nur was a special one because the last Friday in Ramadan is something special, although I have not been informed of exactly why, other than that it's, Jummah is our main prayer of the week in congregation. But today's khutbah was about worshipping Allah, especially during Ramadan, but it can apply to any time of the year. And the worship of Allah is an essential part of being a Muslim, because not only is the 5 daily prayers and any optional ones that we do acts of worship, but anything that we do in the name of Allah or for the cause of Allah can be an act of worship. For instance, helping with iftar preparation, which I have been doing all month. I can consider that an act of worship. I can help someone with a need. I can consider that an act of worship. I can just do anything in the name of Allah is something that can be an act of worship, and is the worship of Allah. And that's our central thing of being a Muslim. And in Ramadan especially, the worship of Allah takes a central part. We fast for the sake of Allah. We abstain from certain things for the sake of Allah. We do extra things for the sake of Allah. All the extra salat that we do, the Taraweeh after Isha, or the Tahajjud between Taraweeh and Fajr, and this coming together to break our fast together as a community. People who pay their zakat or their sadaqah in this month, they get extra blessings for doing that. And there are two zakats. There's zakat-ul-fitr, which is something that, from what I understood, I might be wrong, so anyone can correct me on this or elaborate on it. I'd certainly appreciate it. But from what I heard from someone, that if you have a day's worth of food in your house, then each person in that household or someone on their behalf would pay $10, and then that money can go to, in our case, we are going to collect all of our zakat-ul-fitr money that is collected at Masjid An-Nur, and that's going to be sent to a Muslim organization that is providing famine relief for those millions of Somalis who need it the most. And then there's the zakat al-mal, which is the zakat on wealth above a certain value that you pay 2.5% on, and that is used for give to the poor and other things. So that's usually when it's this last week of Ramadan that those are usually taken care of. And even that act in itself is an act of worship. You do it for the sake of Allah. You don't do it to show off. You don't do it to for self-gratification. You do it for the reward that will come on the day of judgment, when all of our good deeds are weighed against our bad deeds. And just anything that we can do to remember Allah, not just the 5 daily prayers, but anytime we say something or mention the name of Allah in any form, then that counts to our benefit. That counts in our favor. And so that is what this special week, this last 10 days and 10 nights for those who pray the Tahajjud either by themselves or in Jummah, in congregation. And and an act of worship could be something like I have been doing most of the past several days, actually spending the night in the masjid that way, because I ride the bus. I just can't go home after Tarawih and expect to get back to the masjid for tahajjud. That's just not possible for me. So I spend the night in the masjid. I might catch an hour and a half of sleep if Allah allows it, and then I go do wudu, and I pray with anyone else who's there, and then I assist. Sorry about the noise in the background. Mila's just running back and forth, like a crazy cat. But I have been assisting with the suhor preparation so that everybody who is there for the suhor in between tahajjud and fajr can get their food and have plenty of time to eat it. And then that way, if they need to make wudu or take their medicine, like I take my medicine, and we can get that taken care of, get it cleaned up, and then we go pray fajr, and then I stay after fajr and I clean up, because that gives me enough time. I can wait for a bus to come home, so I can take a shower and get ready for what the night, this day comes. So that is an act of worship. Just anything that we do for the sake of Allah is an act of worship, and by worshiping Allah in so many forms, we gain extra rewards. When I was a Christian, I only worshipped on certain days and at certain, like on every time I went to the church, that was it. Of course, I hardly ever prayed at home, but even I never considered doing anything with a specific intention to do it for the sake of my Creator. But now, after having found out the great reward in it, for doing it this way, then I'm even more eager to do as many good deeds as I can. And but I have this habit of just finding little good deeds to do here and there, but I just never think much of them. I just do it because I just like it. I just like doing good things for people, or secret as well as in open. Although I prefer to do my good deeds in secret, but you can't always do that. But anyway, so an act of worship is, we say Bismillah or Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim if you want to say the whole phrase. That's how you can make something an act of worship. That's how that means, Bismillah by itself means in the name of Allah. And Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim means in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. And there are other versions of that. But that's that by itself makes something, if you have the right intention to do it to please Allah, that by itself can make something an act of worship. And the more of these that we do, not just during Ramadan, but all the time, then that will benefit us greater in the end. And also, speaking of worship, for those locals, Des Moines area residents who are watching this, the Eid prayer for Eid al-Fitr will be at the Polk County Convention Complex. That's the corner of 5th and Grand here in Des Moines. And the takbir starts at 8:30, and then the salat itself will start at 9:30. And the takbir goes pretty much from the start at 8:30 until the time for the salat. And then, so we are sharing this with the Des Moines Islamic Center, which is the largest masjid here in the area. And so we're hooking up to do this. But any Muslim in the area, even if you belong to the two Bosnian masajid, come on over, have your Eid prayer with us, and just enjoy the feeling of praying with hundreds of your brothers and sisters. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. And for parking, for those who drive, there are 2 parking ramps near the convention complex, and you can find those at 5th and Keogh or 4th and Grand. and so that's convenient, and it'll be a good dawah, visual dawah for the downtown area of my city. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. And yeah, this is a short, but there wasn't much to it. Just basically emphasizing the importance of worshiping Allah. I mean, even reading the Qur'an is worshiping Allah. You know, reading an Islamic book such as a collection of hadiths or stories of the prophets or stories of the prophets' wives or the companions or something like that. You know, just something like that can be an act of worship when you do it for the sake of Allah. So I just thought I'd toss out this quickie for you because that's basically all that there was. And so as always, anything that I say it's wrong, it's totally my bad. I can't blame Mila. Anything that's good comes from Allah because Allah is a source of all good. So Assalamu alaikum, do widzenia. Thanks for watching, and the answer